Hello, and welcome to Mcedam's universe of DVD collecting. This is going to be my Doctor Who collection, and as you can see, I have fucking a lot. So let's begin with the first ever Doctor Who story ever, with Unearthly Child, which has a great first episode, but the rest of the four about cavemen is alright, I guess. It's not bad, as most people lead you to believe, but you know. The Daleks, a great story from William Hartnell from Terry Nation, who wrote the story. Edge of Destruction, which is a classic two-parter if you ask me, but most people don't agree with me on that one. The Keys of Madness, which I really enjoyed, I did. My only problem with it is that the last episode was a bit really rushed, and how they defeated the enemy was so pants. They should bring back the Voids. They were great villains. The Aztecs, which was the first historical Doctor Who... Oh, no, wait. Never mind. Marco Polo, but the Marco Polo's gone. So this is the first out of the existing Doctor Who stories that is historical, which is a great story, by the way. The Censorites, which I absolutely loved, but I know some people don't like. Mainly for the fact that the villains were a bit cheesy, which I don't mind the cheesiness of this one. No, wait. The Reign of Terror, which is a classic historian about the French Revolution. Planet of the Giants. Hold on, there you go. Planet of the Giants, a great three-parter. Daleks' Invasion of Earth, one of my favourite Doctor Who stories, in my opinion. One of the best. Tomb of the Cybermen, which is a classic story. Anyone who wants to get into classic Doctor Who needs to watch this. The War Games, a great 10-parter, which is my personal favourite, just saying. My personal favourite Doctor Who ever. The Ambassadors of Death. It's alright. There's some bits that drag a bit, but there's also some really epic moments, like the bad guys, when they storm out and kill everyone. That's really cool. The Demons, which was my favourite for a while. But then, I don't know, I thought that it ended on a cheesy note, which, for a dark, demonic story like this, feel really out of place. But I still like the story, though. The Day of the Daleks, great story, with special features, which includes new Dalek voices on that one. Three Doctors, which is the first ever Doctor Who DVD I got. No, wait. Second DVD I got. And, yep. Time Warrior, classic. Planet of the Spiders, John Pertwee's last. It's alright. It drags on a bit, but it's very enjoyable. Robot, which is freaking amazing. I love Robot. Genesis of the Daleks. Not as good as people say it is, but it is very enjoyable, mainly for the fact that Davros is just awesome in that. Terror of the Zygons, or Zygons, or whatever they're called. Zygons. They came back in the 50th anniversary, I think, yeah. Great Tom Baker story. Again, one of my faves. Planet of Evil, which is an underrated gem. Pyramid of Mars, great. The Android Invasion, another hidden gem. The Brain of Mobius, which is one of my favourite Tom Baker stories of all time. Seeds of Doom, which is another absolutely amazing Tom Baker story. The Deathly Assassins, just one of the classic eras of Doctor Who and in sci-fi in general. Horrors of Fang Rock, which, I gotta be honest, is one of my favourite Tom Baker stories ever. Um, but it is outbeaten by Image of the Fandel. And the more I think about it, this is my favourite Doctor Who story of the Tom Baker era. Which it goes there, then it goes to the Horror Fang Rock, and then my third favourite Doctor Who story of all time, of the Tom Baker era, I mean, The City of Death, which is a script by Douglas Adams, I believe, of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy fame. The Leisure's Hive, which is really disappointing and is the first DVD I got ever of classic Doctor Who. Earthshock, second best Doctor Who story ever, and is my favourite Peter Davison era story. Mandra and Dead, I don't know how to pronounce that. Classic, mainly just for the fact to see the Fifth Doctor interact with the Brigadier, which happens again, but not for long in the Five Doctors. King's Demons, an underrated gem. The Five Doctors, it's alright. I don't think it's as good as the others, the Doctor's stories, but yeah. Plant of Fire, which is, it's alright. I mainly got this one because it came with King's Demons. Attack of Cybermen, which is one of my favourite Colin Baker stories. And now we've got an audio drama here. I have The Reaping, which is a really dark but really awesome story featuring the classic Cybermen, which they should properly bring back in the new series. The Two Doctors, which is my favourite of the three, I gotta be honest, because it got less time focusing on different doctors and more on just two doctors. And I think it's got the better story and mainly the better music as well. I think the music makes this story the most. Remembrance of the Daleks. Oh no, is it? Yeah, Remembrance of the Daleks. It's a great story, but it seems a bit of its times, if you get me. I don't think it's aged well in terms of moving out of the 80s and into a newer era of Doctor Who. Like, it tries too hard to try and be like classic Doctor Who when it should have tried and moved on. But it's still a great story. The movie, The Lovely Disaster, as I like to call it, it's so bad, but it's so awesome at the same time. And it's the only on-screen appearance of Paul McGann. Sadly, because Paul McGann was a great actor. Hey. In audio dramas, which is the continuation of the Paul McGann era, we have Blood of the Daleks, Part 1, Part 2, which are great stories. We have Horror of Glam Rock, which was terrible, and Immortal Beloved, which was a kind of smart, kind of dumb at the same time, but I really enjoyed it. At least I enjoyed it. Then we have the new seasons, and if you can see, I've designed them to make them look like they're in part of the classic era. And I did this because spines really annoy me. Right down. Doctor Who Season 1, Volume 1, which is a great era of Doctor Who. Volume 2, which has one of my favourite Christopher Eccleston stories, Daleks. Dalek, just one Dalek, because that's the only features. Then this has my favourite story of the new era so far, which is The Empty Child and the Dances. And then we move to Bad Wolf and the Pattern of the Waves, which does come with Boomtown, but I didn't put it in because I didn't think it was as important on the DVD as the other two, so I left it on there. Rise of the Cybermen, it's alright. I'm not fussed on the new Cybermen on these ones, but it's a great story if you don't consider it a Cyberman story, because the Cybermen are so much better than just tin robots stomping around, thinking them all unemotional and all that rubbish. I could explain, but you know. Oh, it also comes with the Doomsday two-parter, which is the end of Rose. I don't know. I don't like it that much because it focused too much on the Daleks and the Cybermen, which should have been a badass recreation of the Cybermen. It was just terrible. They got their ass handed to them. Right then. The next Doctor, which I think is really underrated, I can't remember his name, but the guy that played the other Doctor, which has a twist in the end, was a great actor, and I really thought he should have been a Doctor to see like his muscle stretch. Maybe he can come back, but I doubt it because it's mostly hated by the Doctor Who community. Time of the Angels, which has Time of the Angels two-parter and Angels in Venice. I really enjoyed this one. My only problems is that it ended with the season arc, which really annoyed me because the season arc kind of got away from the story when it should have been the Doctor trying to defeat the Angels on his own. Instead, it was the crack, which was the thing throughout the season, which was really annoying. The Snowmen, as you could probably see, you could probably guess that these two are actually the entire second half of season 7. I think it's season 7. Which I thought were okay. There were some not so good stories, but then there was like Cold War and the Rings of Akaten, which I thought were like some of the greatest stories ever in terms of Doctor Who. And my favourite Doctor Who from Matt Smith is the Rings of Akaten, though the singing got really annoying, as most people point out. And the Day of the Doctor, which I went to see in the cinema, which was like, oh my god, it was fangasm. But the more I watch it, the more I don't know. It's a very enjoyable story, but in terms of the stories and the character, it felt a bit weak. And the Zygons, which they built up, hardly made an appearance, which was really disappointing. Because they were a fan favourite, and they've come back after about 40 or 30 years, and they were just wasted. Right then, before I move on, I just got some of these to show you. The cover's not in this one, it's in that one, but this is the Energy of the Daleks, which is a great audio drama, my first audio drama, starring Tom Baker. I had to get it because Tom Baker was back, and I was like, oh my god, Tom Baker. Spare Parts, I think it's a bit overrated, I gotta be honest. It's the origins of the Cybermen, and there's some bits I do like. I never liked the idea of them forcing the Cybermen on them. I think that's the problem I had with the Rise of the Cybermen as well. Legend of the Cybermen, which I thought was a classic. Cybermen were a bit underused, but in terms of the story on its own, it's one of the greatest Doctor Who audio dramas out there. Right then. Season 3 soundtrack. I had to get this because Season 3 was my favourite, which is ironic because I don't have any Doctor Who seasons, Doctor Who DVDs in Season 3. So yeah, I had to get this. It's amazing. I love Donna's, Donna's theme's on it, and Martha's theme, and the epic music which they play on there, which is on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember. The docudrama Adventure in Space and Time, which is a classic, and if you want to just get into filmmaking in general, you must watch this. It is essential watching. Torchwood, Season 1, Part 1. I really like Torchwood. The stories are great and all that, but it seems it tries too hard to be adult. I know I keep saying this, and people make it out that I hate this show, which no, I love it. I love Gwen, I love Jack, I love Yanto. Yanto's so bloody awesome. But apart from Season 3 was the best season. But throughout Seasons 1, 2 and 4, it seems like they were forcing the adult aspects into our throats, and it got really annoying really fast. And last, and I guess least as well, because some people don't like these, but some people love this, is the Dalek collection, which collects the two movies from the 60s, which is Doctor Who and the Daleks, which they actually call him Doctor Who. It's so annoying, because these stupid Americans. And Dalek Invasion of Earth, 2150 AD, which I like the music, but it does not fit into the movie at all. I don't know, and I think that this couldn't have really worked because the main story, or at least one of the main bits that people remember, is the leaving of Susan in the TV show, and they couldn't have done that on this. So instead, they gave it a really cheesy ending, and it was just all cheesy. But I think they knew it was cheesy. They knew that most people were going to like it, so they just kind of had fun with it, and I really enjoyed it. So that's my Doctor Who collection. I hope you enjoyed.